The National Guard is on the ground today after President Trump's two executive orders aimed at curbing crime and homelessness in the capital city. Besides bringing in the National Guard, President Trump has federalized the Metro Police in Washington, D.C., putting that department directly under the control of his administration for at least the next 30 days. Now, Republicans are backing the president's move, with the White House Oversight Chair James Comer promising to bring local leaders to Capitol Hill next month to explain policies Republicans find counterproductive to curbing crime. Democrats, though, on the other hand, they are criticizing this move, pointing to D.C.'s falling crime rate and warning that President Trump's threat to go into other democratically run cities will be met with resistance. However, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser says some good could come from this move by helping to bring crime down even further.
What I'm focused on is the federal surge and how to make the most of the additional officer support that we have. We have the best in the business in MPD and Chief Pamela Smith to lead that effort and to make sure that the men and women who are coming from federal law enforcement are being well used, and that if there's National Guard here, that they're being well used, and all in an effort to drive down crime.
We do know Mayor Bowser just wrapped a meeting with Attorney General Pam Bondi, which the Attorney General did call productive. So we are expecting the White House to be pressed on this today during a briefing, which is scheduled to start in about an hour. We will, of course, bring that to you live. First, though, let's get out to NewsNation's Joe Khalil live in D.C. with the latest on this. Joe, it's not just crime the president is targeting here.
Yeah, remember, there are two elements to this federalization of the D.C. Metro Police Department. The first, obviously, being crime. That is the element that the White House has been talking about, trying to reduce the crime stats in Washington, D.C. We've obviously heard there from Mayor Bowser after her meeting. She says that they're going to try to make use of the federal resources and beefed up numbers in terms of law enforcement on the ground. The second element to this is homelessness, and that is also something that President Trump directly says he wants to see handled, that there is too much of it when you see tent encampments in the nation's capital. The National Guard, as we know, is on the ground right now, and we saw them at the D.C. Armory earlier this morning. We know that at some point soon today, they're going to be deployed different places throughout the district. Don't know exactly where or what their mission is going to be when it comes to both crime, but also the homelessness question, too. In fact, we've asked the White House several times about the basics when it comes to the homeless issue. What are you going to do with people who are in tents if you remove tent encampments? Where would they go? What kind of resources might they have? Are they being sent to shelters? Are they being sent elsewhere? And for how long are you going to be removing some of these encampments? And the big questions that we are asking in that vein are because if you drive around D.C., you know it's not unfamiliar to see groupings of tents. Sometimes D.C. regularly and routinely will remove those tents, and then they will be back maybe a couple of days later. We did get a chance to talk to some of the homeless people who live here in D.C. We talked to a couple of folks who were in camps, and actually behind my shoulder, if you guys want to come back out, we're just a couple blocks away from the White House, and in front of the New York Presbyterian Church here, there are several encampments and several homeless people who come here for services sometimes. So we talked to a couple of folks about what they expect to do if their encampments, if their tents that they are sleeping in every night are all of a sudden removed. This is what we heard from some people.
I'm just trying to live. I'm just trying to survive. I'm just trying to find a way. I've been just trying to find work. I mean, it's been hard out here being homeless. Yeah. Shelters are not clean always. I mean, the shelters, I'm saying, it's like you surviving for yourself. I'm saying, I'm out surviving myself right here.
So, again, we've heard from several homeless people, not just those that we've spoken to on camera, but others who question what they would do if that were to happen, if their encampments were cleaned out. We've heard from several of them that the shelters, they don't feel safe in D.C. shelters. Many people we've spoken to have talked to us about how sometimes when they go there, their things get stolen from them. It can get violent. We heard from one woman at the shelters there. So those are concerning things.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.